flash drive. You have a flash drive.
A flash drive.
You know, get into that computer,
Right.
open a file. Can you get any?
Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. With a flash drive or anything that is a what we call a removable drive, okay, they can configure the removable drive to have what we call an auto run feature. In other words, it's basically the presence of a particular file of a file name, and will start some action just by the fact that you plug it into your system. So unless you configure your computer so that it doesn't do the auto run thing, the auto run thing can activate a virus or any type of malicious software. Let me answer his question first. And then, yep.
This firewall will be better, a software-based one or hardware-based one?
That's a good question. A software-based firewall is basically something that you install into your operating system. Windows comes with a software firewall already. I would use both. Okay, I would definitely invest like $30 on the hardware one, because a hardware one is independent to your system. So so even if you are reinstalling your operating system before you can activate the firewall and stuff like that, the hardware firewall is always there to protect your system. So I would definitely spend that $30 on the hardware.
Is the whole different component? Can you connect to the system, or is it inside the router?
It is usually inside the router. It's already configured by most providers. It's already configured to stop incoming traffic. So you're safe to begin with. If you go through a residential gateway, a router, these are all different names for the same device. Okay, I cannot keep track of who's next. Go ahead.
Facebook, if you open any, slides or pictures that your friends send you, you will have, can get any virus.
I'll be careful. Yep.
Shouldn't companies like, say, Comcast, Amazon, etc., like offer an additional firewall to add some extra protection?
As additional firewall to do what? Sorry.
Like within their system.
Within their system?
Yeah.
Well, they have firewalls on their side to stop attacks going into their system, but they can't help you, on your own computer, because.
Well, I mean, if you're connected to them, and something's going through their system.
Most of the time, they have fairly good control, over that. But it is possible. I see what you mean now. Okay, so. Let me give you. Let me see if I understand yours in what you're describing here. Let's say you're going to eBay. Okay, so the question is, can a eBay seller be able to infect your system by posting certain images or some stuff like that, for that particular item on eBay? And the answer is theoretically yes, it is possible. So it is now up to eBay to make sure that the pictures that you upload are virus free, and they are they're trouble free. So that is possible, even though it's not likely. It is possible. And that was the hand here.
Yeah, I've had a virus before that would actually go and infect all removable media with an auto run file.
Yes.
And the only way I was able to eliminate it from that particular USB drive was to turn auto run off on another computer and format the drive from there.
Right. Yep. That's what. It's very insidious. Yep. Go ahead.
I used to work for a web company. We had not a software, but we ran a certain script to clean up any viruses that were coming in.
Yeah, you have to do something like that. I mean, that's almost a minimum requirement, to make sure that your system doesn't get infected. Yep.
So people who create these viruses, Trojans, how they work if it's dangerous too? Like for them who create it.
For people who are creating the virus,
How does it not assess
because they can inoculate their own system against their own virus. I mean, that's a pretty easy thing to do. If they know how to make a virus, they can make their own system immune to their own virus. Yeah, that's kind of like a pretty easy thing. Yep.
Is it possible to have a hybrid malware, like a worm inside a Trojan, so when the Trojan gets inside,
Yes.
one could,
Yes. Remember, a Trojan is nothing more than a delivery vehicle. Okay. So what the soldiers inside the Trojan want to do is entirely up to those soldiers, up to the programmer who wrote that program. A lot of times, okay, so this, I want to bring in the concept of a botnet too, okay? So let's go over, spyware, first, and then we'll go talk about that. Spyware, as the name implies, will be spies on your computer. What kind of stuff, what kind of information does it collect on your computer?
What sites you go to, maybe your
Yep.
keystrokes.
Yep, your keystrokes, your keylogger. Okay, keylogger is definitely one. Some spyware would actually change the browser setting on your computer, so it doesn't go directly onto the internet. It has to go through one of the what we call a proxy server. Now that is really truly insidious, because once your browser is configured to go through a proxy server, that means everything that you do will have to go through or bounce off a particular proxy server. So whoever is running the proxy server will know your browsing habit 100%. It will get all your traffic. Okay, you go to Amazon, they know exactly what you're looking at. Yep.
Are you going to cover the story that affected a lot of people this last year, where there was a proxy, it would route or redirect people's computers to a proxy server, and then they were on their server until, well, actually, the way I understand it is after a certain amount of time, then, well, there was an intervention. Do you know the story?
Nope, I did not.
The
okay.
the FBI was preventing the proxy server for quite a while, and then their edict to prevent it expired, and people that could potentially be going through this proxy server had to identify their IP address?
The
Make
IP
sure they
address.
weren't going to the proxy server?
At a certain point, the FBI had to stop.
They had to back off.
They had to back off, but they had to let everybody know that, just put a blanket message out there. You may have been affected. You may be on this proxy server, and so
people
they
had to
kept
check their status.
So the FBI kept the proxy server alive only long enough. They had to pick a time where they go, okay, after this point, you need to do certain procedures. Otherwise, your computer, basically, you're not going to have good web browsing. You're not going to be able to access what you used to because they shut the proxy server down.
Right. So many people did not make any changes, I take it.
I didn't see the reports after that.
Okay.
They were anticipating a large number of people that were going to just
If you didn't make the changes, you weren't going to ever be able to
Connect to the internet.
connect to the internet for
Yeah.
that computer again.
I see. Okay, but it's a pretty easy thing to do. Changing the proxy server thing. Well, it's if you know where you're looking. So you go to the tool here. I think you go to tools. You had a question?
I was going to ask what the proxy server.
A proxy server is basically a bounce off point. So instead of going to to whatever website you want to go to directly, you are basically bouncing off of another point on the internet. So everything that you do is going to be funneling through that one single point, and then that one single point will once again branch off to the site that you actually want to go to. So to you, it looks like it is completely transparent. You would not even know that a proxy server has been configured, because you will still be able to get to the website that you want to get to get the content that you want to get to.
I know that I personally used a proxy server to get through, what's it called? Censorship
Mhm.
of the internet.
Yes.
I know that that there's different hacking organizations that have created proxy servers just for countries like North Korea and China, where there's a lot of
Control.
to inform the public.
Yes.
Things as simple as like LGOO, where it's Google backwards.
Yep. Oh, okay. That's cool. Yep.
And there's lots of
Going
stuff.
off of what he said, yeah, there are, North Korea's been getting money through online gaming. They basically hired a group of hackers to create bots that play the game for
Mm-hmm.
and then they go to China, and then they go ahead and trade that in-game currency for actual currency. North
Or
Korea
food.
yeah. North Korea has gained about 10 million this way, and then
Wow.
goes back into their slush fund where you can buy loyalty from the high-ranking officials.
They can buy more equipment to refine uranium.
I read last year I read last year that Blizzard had discontinued their services to North Korea.
What? Sorry?
Blizzard, the company that runs World of Warcraft,
Right.
they had discontinued Blizzard. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Right.
Discontinued their services to North Korea.
I think that's just, I think that's inevitable. That was inevitable. Okay, so I just want to show you guys how to do it in Google Chrome. You just go to settings. You have to turn on advanced, settings, and then go all the way down to network, and then you can click here to look at your proxy settings. When running Google Chrome under a supported desktop environment, this will be used. However, your system is not supported. So in this particular case, I'm not. My system is not set up to use a proxy server, so I don't really have to worry about it. There was another hand somewhere. No? Okay. All right, so let's move on. Yep.
I have like on November, somehow I was infected and I didn't know. But basically I set up my computer, fragment enough every Sunday and also be updated. So by January, somebody get my, credit card, email, and they charged. So they figured out that when I reported, I was shocked because I never was stolen my credit card. Nobody used my credit card. So it's only this moment when I just said Amazon and I use it. And I changed my credit card identification. And I tried to figure out what happened because in November my computer was working pretty good. You can see I set up my vital protection, my firewall, and somehow they detected that it was in November. And someday my computer they put. So I think it's because of the email that I received from my niece. She got some link, and I didn't know that there is people who use her email. Using her name,
Yeah.
it sent me some commercials, so I clicked it,
Yeah.
and it was something
Yep.
for blueberry pills, whatever.
Okay.
And I just deleted it, and I didn't even bother myself to ask her because she's
Okay.
not. So maybe she sent me things for advertising. Anyway, I figured out that by January, I'm having a lot of trouble with my computer. Even though I cleaned up the whole thing, I couldn't get the Java, files to open my screen for my internet. So I am trying to start going to start my computer. And not only my computer it was compromised, it was compromised all my computers in my house.
Yes.
In a laptop.
Yes, because the firewall doesn't work anymore, because the firewall is only stopping traffic from entering the city. But once something is invited inside, it just, it will infect everything from inside.
I called Comcast, where my internet, they
Mhm.
couldn't use it.
Uh-huh.